Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Good, man. I think this might be the official latest I've done a show like ever.
No, I think we've done holiday shows a little later, but definitely the latest while you are actually working. Your boy is off today, so we pushed the show back because sleep. Because sleep.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think. I don't know if I've done one late because I figure what time is it over there? Like nine something, maybe 10. Maybe 10 is the
it is
latest. But
it
I
is
was like 3 hours behind.
9:35.
Yeah, but I was like probably 3 hours behind, so maybe.
Oh yeah, very true, very true. Plenty to get into. I am off work. You are not. The Buckeyes are still getting to work. A huge game this weekend against the team up north. The college football season is coming to an end, but also feels like it's just getting started. The Buckeyes have played 11 games this season, and we are approaching the game. It feels like the
Yeah.
Buckeye season's just getting started, given that he set 3 goals at the beginning of the year, beat the team up north, win the Big Ten, win the national championship, and they're about to face their first test as far as achieving their goals here on Saturday. But plenty to get into in the college football landscape. Q, where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, first of all, let's get the first shout out, and I've been forgetting, but still, Steven was in here first. So shout out to him, and shout out to Bailey. Said first time she's ever been able to catch a live show since we're here so late. So shout out to you, shout out to
Awesome.
Dylan because he's in there too. If you're in here, go ahead and like that video. If you are on Twitter, hit the like and retweet in the community as well. If you want to get in the community, let one of us know. Let me turn my volume down. There we go. Let one of us know. And like I said, I lied yesterday. I said I get audio updated, and I completely forgot. So I will do that today. But so that I want to start with, Duke loses last night to Kansas. Got to start there in a
Motherfucker.
barn burner. I only say that because I actually watched the game, and it was a great game. Obviously, a heartbreaker at the end. But where else is better to start, Ron?
I didn't get to watch the game. I have family.
Uh-huh.
I have a family in town. And I was out with a few of my cousins and my uncle, but I could tell it was not going well when I was looking in my Duke group chat in the second quarter, and the messages are normally like one every 3 to 5 minutes, and it was looking like Gmo chat going 100 miles a minute. So I was like,
Oh no.
I know this is not going well. So yeah, a rough start. But when you schedule tough early in the season, a lot of people have criticized Coach K over the years because they say he won't play anybody in his non-conference. John Shire has taken the exact opposite approach and have tried to play every tough team that will schedule them. UConn, one of them that refused to schedule them, and you see them go down to Colorado. So understand why they wouldn't want to play. But it is very early in the college basketball season. It's hate week and we're talking about basketball. What are we doing here?
Only when necessary, but no, it was a great game. But let's talk some Ohio State ball. So starting Ohio State a little early in here, and definitely want to ask the chat a couple things. But Ron, Ohio State in the last week, and we know what time of year this is. This is not Ohio State flip season. This is Ohio State get flip season because that's usually the way it goes when it gets close to signing day. We've had two defensive ends, both both defensive ends that we had in early in the class have both decommitted and are looking elsewhere. Ron, I am gonna ask you: does Ohio State look to flip any defensive ends now with only Zion Grady in the class, or is it just time to wait for the portal and embrace this new age of college football? Because I don't really know where you go from here with not a lot of time left. And it seems like everyone that's been on Ohio State's radar is putting up shutting it down, really committed. So
Stop
where do we go
calling.
where do we
Just
go from here?
Well, I do have good news for Buckeye fans. Well, the answer to your question is just yes to both of them. I feel like the Buckeyes do find a flip before early signing day, and the Buckeyes are going to be aggressive in the portal at the defensive end position. It's funny that We lose Zaire Mathis of Penn State Lane. I'm not sure if he committed there yet, but that's where he's likely going to end up. And my buddy, who is a huge Penn State fan, is like, he called me last week and said, a bad feeling. My favorite D end in our class, I like him more than Zaire Mathis. I like him more than anyone on our entire recruiting class. Chaz Coleman, Ohio product out of Warren, Ohio, who's visiting the Buckeyes this weekend. And it looks like the Buckeyes have a good opportunity to flip Chaz Coleman. Penn State fans are very high on him. So, I mean, Penn State has the track record of identifying edges. You've seen what they've been able to produce over the past few years. So if Penn State wanted him and valued him, I feel like the Buckeyes are on the right track, and I feel like they are going to figure this out with an eventual Chaz Coleman flip. And hopefully they're going to be able to continue to add bodies in the portal, because that room is going to be thin next year with essentially just Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, and Jay Hicks.
Yeah. He definitely has to play defense in now. We have no edges. Yeah, most definitely there. That's good news to hear. I figure this is gonna be a portal run. I don't see as maybe if we add one more, that'd be great for the depth, but we were already going in with 4 defensive ends outside of CJ Hicks next year, and that's not enough for a season. I mean, unless you have all 4 of those guys playing in your last minutes against Akron, that's work out for us. So hopefully we get a flip there. But in the new age of the portal, I am a little more and I want to ask you this. I'm a little more confident now, seeing what we did last spring in the portal, that we actually, get stuff done in the early portal period, which we have not really touched. Do you feel like that now it's coming up soon now? I know college football playoffs, all that fun stuff is up, but new portal season starts here in just a couple of weeks. Do you feel like Ohio State actually attacks that? Because basically at this point, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I feel like the Buckeyes are going to. I don't know where I read it yesterday. I don't know if it was a Penn State board or on 3 article. Someone said essentially the days of the number 1 class are over, or chasing the number 1 class are over, because investing that many resources in unproven 17-year-olds when there are proven products in the portal, and everybody seems to be, it's free agency every portal opening, that you may see a shift in philosophy from a lot of different schools, where the portal is the primary source of filling holes and also acquiring talent, and not afraid to push someone out of the class or make them wait a year because you're able to go acquire someone better, versus having all of these unproven talents making hundreds of thousands of dollars with no opportunity to play early in their career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, especially recruiting maybe smaller schools. Guys, I saw somebody in comments on one of the posts talking about, hey, like, go get that defensive end from Marshall. He's like, go get that guy. He's explosive. Like, I'm like, yeah, you probably could spend, $100,000 and be like, yeah, go ahead and pull up. And that's probably cheaper than recruiting these days. So, yeah, I'm with you there. We will see what we do and keep track of that. Moving on. So,
real quick, while we're talking about the transfer portal, a name to keep an eye on: Taron Tayo, a tackle out of Ball State, just entered his name in the portal. Second highest rated tackle in the MAC. The Buckeyes are going to be active on the offensive line, so just a name to keep an eye on.
All right, there we go. Could always use good tackles. Okay, moving on a little bit. Now I have some questions for you in the chat for this for these couple. Travis Hunter right here. He makes the Bolitnikoff Award, but does not make the Thorpe Award list, which is close. So my first question: should he be on both?
Man, I'm not trying to hear that. He shouldn't be on the Bolitnikoff, because Jeremiah Smith should be on there. What the fuck are we doing? Like, that's so disrespectful. No, I'm not even entertaining this. Travis Hunter needs more awards. All I know is I was all for Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. Bro, getting greedy now. Move out the way. Jeremiah Smith is a better receiver right now than Travis Hunter. So the idea that Travis Hunter, who really isn't a top 4 or 5 receiver in college football right now, is in the top 3 for the Bolitnikoff, and you're going to put a stats person in there like Nick Nash. The only reason why I cover college football, and the only reason why I know that guy's name is because he has a card in college football 25. Like, if I didn't know him from the game, I don't know him from college football. Yes, is he the highest statistical leader? I did know he was the leader in receiving yards this season in all of college football. But I ain't seen a single highlight. Not one has come across the timeline, across Sports Center, none of that shit. So the fact, bro, Jeremiah Smith robbed. I don't even. I have like I'm almost at a loss for words because I just can't believe it. And you know how hard I've been no Diddy riding for Travis Hunter for this season as the Heisman candidate, number one candidate. But to see him take away this spot from Jeremiah Smith, I think is an atrocity.
How did Nick Nash didn't take away that spot, and it could have been Travis
He
Hunter
was,
and
bro. He had the statistical case. I understand why he's there. He had the statistical case. Like, that's the guy that is like, oh well, why isn't the guy with the most yards in the country there? He is. Shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like he deserved to be there. He put up the statistical resume for it.
Well, if you say Travis Hunter deserves to win the Heisman, isn't it based on the case that he's not only one of the top receivers in college football, but also one of the top DBs? So he should theoretically be on both?
So he would win the Heisman because he is the top at both. The Blitnikoff is the best, which he is not.
Well, that doesn't mean he has to win the award. He just has to be nominated.
He could be nominated, but the person who's the best now isn't nominated because he's there, which he shouldn't be there. So that's my problem. That's why I'm focusing the attention on Travis Hunter, because at the end of the day, it's Jeremiah Smith's award and someone else took it. He should have 3 straight Blitnikoffs. He should have just handed him 3 this year.
Fair enough. Well, my next note and my question for the chat is this. So no Jeremiah Smith in here in the finals. Caleb Downs does make the Thorpe Award. So my question is, do any Buckeyes win postseason awards? Because we've talked about this for a long time. Ohio State does not win postseason awards. You go down the list of all the great receivers, all the great DBs in the last few years, and it's really only Marv that won.
Well, when he wins the award, because I do believe he wins it, do they say, and the winner, Alabama transfer, Caleb Downs?
I would throw something in my TV, which I've never done in sports history, if they actually do that. First words, the Alabama transfer.
You gotta check the sports books and see how many seconds after he wins the award do they mention Alabama.
Oh my goodness, that is actually funny, man. Yeah, I don't know if he wins the award. Obviously, Malachi Starks and I forgot who else is in there. Dude from Texas, I forget his name, but yeah, it's a SEC Big Ten battle here. Think Downs has played really well this season. I don't know. Do you think Caleb Downs has had the moments to win a Thorpe? I feel like he's had a very solid season.
Yes.
Especially
the punt return. I feel like that's a stamp on it. Like, just you see how lazy these awards and finalists are. I mean, Jeremiah Smith not a finalist, Cam Ward not a finalist for the best quarterback in America. It's like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like the laziness of voters, the fact that, Alabama transfer, you got 2 name brands associated with his name, Alabama, Ohio State. Everybody saw what he did last year, and that's still imprinted in their head. He's been going absolutely nuts this year, and then he caps it off with a award-winning type play during the game last week. So I feel like he's in the public consciousness, and when voters go to pick, I feel like Caleb Downs is going to be at the top of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just off name recognition alone, like it's Caleb Downs. We know he's one of the best players. Oh, and I just seen a highlight last week because I just think back and I'm like, I have never seen a DB or very few more wild moments than Malik Hooker and Marshawn Lattimore. They didn't come close. So, you talk about week to week, just like Sports Center plays. I don't know if that really mattered, but hopefully he gets it done because Ohio State, I think, deserves a Thorpe somehow in the last 10 years. I don't know if there's a possible way to say no one won the Thorpe and think it's any level of fair. So hopefully there, but chat, let me know. Caleb Downs winning the Thorpe Award. Hopefully he does. So the college football playoff rankings have come out. want to definitely take a look at this bracket here. So we're going to put up that graphic. Here we go. So starting at number one, we got Oregon. Number two, Texas. Number three, Miami. Still somehow, some way, and number four, Boise State, based on conference championships. So Ohio State now sets at 5. Now somehow I need them to rig this, so Ohio State has to go to Arizona State, so I can actually watch the game because that would absolutely be perfect. So can we just switch it? Ohio State at 12. Arizona State at 5, and I'm cool with whatever way this bracket goes from there.
I know if we play Arizona State, Q is going to be in the Arizona State student section on with a Sun Devil shirt on. Like, where's the party after?
I am quite too old to be in the student section. Maybe the master student section, but
where's the PhD section at?
Yeah, at this point. But looking at the bracket, how's it look so far for you?
Depressing. Because it looks like we are going to be going to that 1 seed, and I want that 5 seed, but I want to beat Oregon, and it's like, which one do I want more? And I want the Big Ten championship more. So I feel like the Buckeyes are going to end up with that 1 seed, and while that does look like a cakewalk of a path to the national championship, or at least the semifinals, going through Arizona State and Boise. And it would be awesome to see the Buckeyes whoop ass in the shoe in a playoff game against Arizona State. I mean, we're hoping for a Big Ten championship, correct? I don't see any scenario where we beat Oregon and then don't end up with the 1 seed.
We can't beat Oregon and then play at Arizona State. Why?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
fair.
And it's not even like, oh, the Oregon had a better margin of victory in their matchup. They fucking won by 1. There's no scenario where we win this game and they're like, yeah, no, the Buckeyes are not the best team in the country. So, like, these brackets are cool, but of the mindset going into the Big Ten championship game, I'm assuming the Buckeyes win that game, and then they end up with the 1 instead of the 5. Outside of that, we're looking at 3 SEC teams. Looks good to me. Notre Dame in there at 7. SMU as another ACC team. A little suspect there. And Indiana, yeah, I like the bracket right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting how this is really going to play out, and how these teams are going to shift around. So they've even talked about possibly Tulane coming in. I think Tulane has one loss right now, and they're at 17, so they can find a way to maybe knock one of the conference champions out, possibly the Big 12 here. So we will see. But if I look at this right now, obviously for the teams who aren't going to be able to move too much, I think it looks pretty fair. I mean, Georgia, Tennessee, looking forward to that. We'll be looking for that. Notre Dame is in here. Despite losing, we thought they were dead in the water versus NIU. They somehow come back and probably are going to end up in a semi if that would be the matchup. I'll take Notre Dame. At home here, Penn State and Indiana, who didn't get the chance to play each other this season, them to set a matchup here. Winner be playing Miami. I'd be interested to see that because I think both of them are better right now. So obviously Texas has to find a way to win. They can't go lose against Texas A&M, or this is completely going to blow this up yet again. I mean, it's just still so many scenarios, and possibly the Big 12 missing out on that seed is probably the craziest one, even winning a conference championship. So there's a lot that can happen.
I mean, did you mention? I'm sorry, I spaced out there because I was sending a text to try to get us a guest before the end of the show. Did you mention Miami's potential doomsday scenario?
Well, I figure Miami will win here, win against Syracuse.
Why would you assume that?
I mean,
this is a matchup of 2 of the best quarterbacks in college football. How could you just assume that Miami's going to beat Kyle McCord? How disrespectful.
I mean, you're right. The way they play week to week, I probably shouldn't assume that because they'll find a way to not. Miami, you know, it's funny too. We're in these group chats, and if Ohio State is not up by 21 in the first quarter, people are absolutely hollering, twerking, showing their ass. Miami, I think, has been in a 3-point game or losing in the first half of like every game this season. And it's just radio silence on all their first halves. It's like, oh, Ohio State's only up, 7 against Nebraska. Miami's losing to Duke right now. Why are we not talking about that? But it seems to pass. So I expect them to probably have a terrible first half again and find a way to pull it out with the luck they seem to be able to pull out every week.
Would you all Kyle McCord sins forgiven if he beats Miami?
No. No. But would it be funny? Yes. Will I go to Canes Unfiltered after the game? Absolutely.
Will they give you a mic? Hell no.
I'll say I will absolutely be watching that game on Saturday, but we will see. We will see what happens. But I expect Miami to fall into either that spot or that SMU spot if SMU finds a way to win the ACC championship. And Miami has gotten the benefit of the doubt all season. I expect them to find some way to be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to unfortunately end up in there, and seeing them on the opposite side of the bracket is a little depressing because, man, how fun would that be for Twitter for an Ohio State-Miami matchup?
The one thing I would love better than Ohio State going to ASU is Ohio State to go to Miami. That would be absolute theater. I would love. I don't know how it could get that done, but I would love to see that.
Absolutely, yeah, man. This bracket, as we talked through it, like it felt like it was damn near set, and then we talked for 10 minutes. I'm like, this means nothing. It's just a bunch of symbols now.
I mean, the Tulane scenario just makes it crazy enough where it's like you can see the Big 12 out despite them being beside the championship.
And then you listen to the national media and they're like, is Florida a playoff team? Should we make it a 24-team playoff and just put all of the SEC in?
Yeah, just go full NFL. What is the regular season anymore? It doesn't matter. But I'm with you though, and we had a good talk with Terry T about the 5th seed. It does seem like it's been a cheat code, but I have been surprised about how much games have meant even still with this 12-team playoff, and it's just opened it up even more. And the crazy seasons I think have helped that. So it's been a good year of college football for a 12-team playoff.
I wanted to pivot a little bit to the team of the week before we get into some of the games this week. And I haven't even looked at this graphic yet, but Jack Sawyer, Cody Simon, Caleb. It sounds like the team of the week is the Buckeyes.
Well, that's why I put this in here. This is the first time all year 3 guys defensively have been up here. Obviously, Caleb Downs, we knew he was going to make it up here with the punt return, the good game of Cody Simon. Like I said the other day, he got on a blitz, 3 sacks, and Jack Sawyer, who played extremely well, is up here too, next to James Pierce. So yeah, the defense balled out on Saturday. And the offense, I don't know what they were doing. There's no one up here, so clearly they took the week off. Only 38 points, but the defense, they were balling.
Do we need how does it feel to get on a blitz t-shirts?
It's so ridiculous. It's hard not to say. Like, also, what really might have started something because it's so hard just not to say. Now, like, what? It's like I have to use that.
Oh man, that is too funny. Yeah, to see the way Cody Simon played. I mean, I talked about it during the spring. I saw him at the open practices, and I was like, that dude is an absolute freak. Like that guy is going to be a monster this year. To see Jack Sawyer finally coming into his own here towards the end of his career, I think it's really special to see this 2021 class starting to have the moments that we all hoped for them to have. And I feel like Saturday will almost be a capstone for that recruiting class as far as having a moment. Like the fact that none of them have I heard Emeka Ibuka reference gold pants, and it was like, I've been covering this team for 3 years now, and I don't think I've ever said those words on this show other than joking about buying Terrell Pryor's off of eBay, because it hasn't been a thing for these guys. And to see that, like, that is still something that they're striving for, and knowing that that moment is right in front of them. We talked about yesterday, like, Buckeye fans truly getting to appreciate the greatness of Travion Henderson through this 4th year. And I feel like we're going to have that moment finally come to fruition on Saturday when we see these guys finally overcome their demons and hopefully beat that team up north.
Yeah, I was watching. I think Zach Bourne. He was talking, and he was like, "In what world were we going to this game, and no one on this Ohio State roster really made besides somebody I'm not thinking of, or some 6, 7 year guy has beat Michigan, and no one on Michigan has lost to Ohio State. Like, what world are we in where that has happened? But it truly is. So, I mean, thinking about all that, all I have to say is storm the field Saturday when they get it done and truly honor this team in the way they should by storming on a win against a 500 ball club. That's the only way to really bring the season in.
In the comments, I got called everything from a Grinch, the fun police. People are not happy with my take.
No fun league.
I stand by it. I hope the kids have fun. College students enjoy themselves. Everybody else, what are we doing? It's gonna be a super exciting moment for everybody. And like I really can't wait for there's so many things about this potential win for the Buckeyes. So many storylines regarding that 2021 class, such high expectations for them to see them having not, like you said, these Michigan fans, these Michigan players, they don't remember losing to Ohio State because in their mind, college football started after the pandemic. Like they took that season off and restarted, and they've just been dominant since. And the Buckeyes are going to have a fight. They were talking about it on Menace yesterday. Like there's only been a few times that this game has been an absolute blowout. I think the Buckeyes are going to have a fight on their hands, and I can't wait.
Yeah, no, definitely should be fun Saturday. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I mean, the guys get done, get out there, relax, take care of business, play hard, and all things should be right in the world finally.
Bro, I just want everybody to take a second and think about all of the Miami troll videos that have come out in the last 3 years since I have been in front of
the ball.
I know I'm getting there. Walk with me, dude. Walk with me.
What videos? Only need to check one channel.
Exactly. And I'm like, you guys have seen the Miami troll videos. I'm telling you, that is going to be child's play for what I have in store. And when I say it's going to be unrelenting, because it's not going to be just, oh, cool video after the game. I have seen those Hassan Haskins and Donovan Edwards runs on my timeline every day. I see Yoder emptying the clip on every joke, meme, everything that we've seen for the last 3 years because they know it's coming to an end. Bro, I have not even going to say. Just know if we win on Saturday, we will be prepared.
You know what I'm looking forward to not seeing anymore? Every time I'm on Twitter, every time I'm on Bleacher Report, every time I'm on Instagram, and they post a player from Ohio State that played in the recent years, even players that have beat Ohio State, which some people forget about, like Garrett Wilson. Well, he never beat Michigan. Like, yes, he did. But every player is like, what did he do against Michigan? Marvin Harrison scores a touchdown against the Cardinals. Yeah, but what did he do against Michigan? I cannot wait for that to stop because that has been so annoying the last few years. I think people forget Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson did beat Michigan, but here nor there.
Yeah, it is goal number one ahead of the Buckeyes. I wanted to talk about the national landscape before we dive fully into the Buckeyes. The games of the week outside of Ohio State, Michigan. Are there any other games that you are excited about this upcoming weekend?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Miami and Syracuse. I mean, I guess I have to start with that Auburn Alabama game because the talk has been absolutely crazy for that. But I don't really expect that to be a game. But with the talking back and forth, I mean, I have to tune in for that because Auburn had something I am not expecting. They did get a win last week in a crazy game against Texas A&M in a 4 overtime game. So That's got to be one that I wasn't looking forward to that now I am definitely looking forward to. But it is a good slate of games.
Absolutely, an excellent slate of games. Georgia Tech could be an interesting one too, with the way Georgia has been sleepwalking through some of these games, boy. And if Notre Dame loses to USC, bro, I'm so sick of hearing about this Notre Dame team. Like, I get in a fucking conference, bro. Like, they should be excluded until they get in a conference, bro. Like, compete, play a real schedule. Like, I want to see them lose so bad.
Yeah, we got Michael in the chat as well. That is a very much, even though you lost to Northern Illinois, it's a win and you're in type game against USC, who has done jack shit all season since the LSU game. So I feel like all their good powers, all their good luck has saved up just for the rivalry game. So that one will definitely be an interesting one to watch. And I also want to point out South Carolina and Clemson here, who both are teetering on the line of the college football playoff. That's almost a losing your out type game. So that's what I'm looking forward to as well.
Absolutely. I mean, this is honestly one of the, if not the best week of college football of the year. You have the game, you have all of the other rivalries. Last year, we didn't think the Iron Bowl was going to be close at all, and they made it way closer than it should be. The talk before the game, like you said, has been great. I mean, Jalen Milroe saying, "I don't even know who that guy is," was hilarious to me. So I can't wait. A lot of people are going to have troll videos of their shit talk before these bowl games because, man, I feel like we're seeing more this season than we have in years past.
Yeah, Cam Coleman coming back saying Jalen Milroe wouldn't even start here.
Wait, say that again?
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that.
Oh, I was about to say, huh? Who?
That would be crazy if he did. Oh, yeah, he wouldn't even start here. We were only 5-5.
I wanted to pivot a little bit. You see, the title of the show is Christmas Coming Early for Ohio State football. Buzz is everywhere surrounding David Sanders and the Buckeyes. I was in the group chat yesterday and people were asking me, like, do you think they pulled off? Like, I've been burned so many times. I'm fingers crossed at this point. Where are you with this David Sanders flip watch?
Is Miss Sanchez in here? Can you give me some good vibes on this one? Oh man, I honestly don't know, but this is usually, I feel like this has gone the other way so many times that I feel like we might be due one. I mean, obviously David Sanders, when he committed to Tennessee, we absolutely needed him. We struck out on everyone, and I know we have a couple tackles on the board here, so we're looking to close on more than one guy. But I mean, I think you have to throw the kitchen sink at David Sanders, who will literally just walk in and start next season because both tackles seem to be gone unless somebody's coming back. I don't know of.
Even if we get Sanders, they need to go get 2 tackle portals. A show for a different day.
Probably. You probably get 3. You never know. Especially with offensive line injuries. But I mean, I feel good about this. He's had a great relationship with Ohio State all along. He came to the Indiana game. With shout out to the crowd that was there. I heard it was absolutely buzzing. I think Pat even almost got arrested for trying to get on the field. So, I mean, I feel like Ohio State has really put their best foot forward here. Justin Fry can finally break his curse. we came in and we're like, oh, this Fry's gonna be a great recruiter here, and the big fish has eluded him, though he's got some guys in the fold. So, I feel like Sanders is a good possibility, and like I said, I don't know, man. I'm throwing every look. I'm like, look, man, what do you want? Car, house, mall? What do you want?
If David Sanders were to commit to Ohio State, would it be the biggest 360 as far as fan perception of a coach ever? It went from his seat being completely on fire to, I feel like if he lands David Sanders and makes it through the Big Ten schedule with all of the injuries that the Buckeyes have seen, he's going to be sitting on a block of ice.
Yeah, I mean, I think Justin Fry will be chilling, especially with the overreaction of Ohio State fans. They will somehow forget all of the misses because we got David Sanders over the last couple of years. I mean, Justin Fry's done a great job this season, and I think I said it when we were starting in preseason. I was like, performance on the field is the most important, and ever since the season has kicked off, I mean, him, shout out to Chip Kelly, shout out to whoever else is helping on the O line. Week to week, despite of injury, they have got it done. Yeah, if he can get David Sanders in and maybe another guys to close this class, I feel like it does put ice on his seat for another couple of years. It gives him time to develop these younger prospects who we feel like are more talented than the guys we've had since he's got here, and they have put together quite a solid offensive line. So I think that will help. Doug mentioned Ian Moore in the chat. Ian Moore was the number 2 tackle last year, the number 3
Guard.
tackle for right tackles.
Guard.
He was one of the top prospects. So
guard. He's a guard.
Okay. One of the top prospects. So yeah, no, I feel like he will put a lot of ice on his seat, and definitely that would be a big boost going forward. It will save a lot of NIL money chasing tackles across the board. Just spend it now. Just get a generational prospect, and I'm happy with it.
Absolutely. And it feels like Buckeye fans are going to be feeling indifferent. Reports out there that Carlos Loughlin and Justin Fry both in consideration or targets for the Utah State job. I don't know if either one of them will interview or seriously consider it, but reports are out there that school is interested in both coaches. So it'd be interesting to see Buckeye fans mourn the loss of Justin Fry after we tried to push him out the door to start the season. But it looks like other teams are going to come knocking for 2 of these coaches at the end of the season, or at least we'll be fielding phone calls at the end of the year for potential head coaching positions.
I did see that. I felt like it was very random, especially. So I don't know what connection either of these guys have to Utah State or why you would leave for that one. I mean, obviously, head coach money is good at running your own program. I just feel like if you're at the point where you're at Ohio State and you want to leave, you're going to have a good offer. I mean, if Curcinetti didn't go light the world on fire. I mean, we were talking about Justin Fry possibly getting the Indiana job. Coach Locke has moved jobs and moved up through the rankings. I feel like if he wants to be a head coach, will be in line in maybe a couple seasons for a good Power 5 or decent Power 5 job. So we will see. But like I said, Ohio State's whole coaching staff seems year in, year out to be at the top of everybody's listing for head coaches, no matter their relationship to the school or not.
Yeah, I believe that was first reported by J.D. Walker. He is a radio host for Utah State Radio. So he hosts an Aggie Game Day podcast. So we'll see. Names to keep an eye on.
Loses to Michigan.
Huh?
I said, add Ryan Day to the list if he loses to Michigan. He's also up for the Utah State job.
We're not doing that show, Q. Put it away. One last thing that I wanted to ask you about before we got out of here. I mean, a huge game on Saturday. Obviously, player interviews, coaches interviews the past few days. What is your reaction to the tone taken by the starting quarterback this year versus let's not go make mistakes last year?
Well, according to Cleveland radio, he's not even an Ohio State quarterback. So what are we talking about? Now, we talked about last year with Kyle McCord and the juice he brought and certain things like that, and just didn't like the government of the team and how they followed him. I have no problem with what Will Howard does week in, week out. Yeah, he's animated. Yeah, he's got juice. Yeah, maybe a little much for people, especially for the opposing sidelines. But he comes out, he balls out, and he wins games. I mean, I don't think we've had a serious criticism about really Will Howard any game this season outside the one thing he struggles with is deep ball. I think outside of that, everyone is like the juice he brought and likes the way he plays. And he's not like it's not like he's putting the cigarette out in Signetti's face. Like he's way on the sideline where 100 yards away from that guy. It's like he's not doing anything.
He grabs Signetti, puts the cigarette out on his forehead.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm sorry he's on camera 24/7 and to show the emotion. I have had no problem with Will Howard, and certainly I don't like when players do too much. I think I had an issue with Shador when he went to the Arizona State student section and held up to watch. I thought that was a little bit much, but Will Howard's done nothing like that. It's little things, so people can complain, but I feel like, bro, this is college football. The kids are 21, 22. As long as they're not pulling a Samaj Morgan in the locker room, I feel like it's all well and fun.
Speaking of that name, we've seen him all over the timeline. Do you think there is going to be some sort of pre-game or in-game antics by either team with the amount of emotion that's going to be going into this game?
Well, my first question is Samad Morgan playing this week? Because I've heard some things like he might miss the game, he might not actually suit up, like yada yada yada. First of all, he better be playing with all that craziness he talked last season. I feel like things are best handled on the field. Do I feel like there could be a little field scuffle? He tries to block somebody, they're like, oh, perfect. Gives him a little scuffle. Probably. Do I feel like someone's going to punch him in the face after the game? Like, no, I don't feel like that's going to happen. But I certainly do well between the lines. Like there could if he plays, there probably will be some get back for him for what he said last season.
Absolutely, I feel like if he gets on the field, I feel like if he gets on the field, the Buckeyes are gonna be looking for him with all the shit that he talked, and we talked about it earlier in the show. A lot of people are gonna learn lessons about talking shit after games, especially ones that say they're never going to lose to an opponent.
Did you hear that, Auburn linebacker? Make sure you don't lose.
He's not the only person that said that they were never going to lose to anyone. Shouts out to one Donovan Edwards, who said he's never going to lose to those guys. Never losing to Ohio State.
He said, shit, I should have left.
But should have left, bro.
He'll be hits the portal on Friday. He's not going to get me.
He might. Where's he going the way he's been running?
Oh, that's too funny. But no, I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be a lot of good energy. Interested to see all these storylines play out, and interested to see how this game goes. I would not be surprised if it's a bit of a barn burner early on with all this energy and all this nervousness and stuff going to the game. I'm just ready for it. It's been so many years ever since we've done this show, orchestrated this group. It's been hell on wheels.
To be fair, I like to remind people we started after the first loss, so we didn't start this shit. We started after the first loss. We did not start the slide. This is not because you guys, we are terrible now, so we can't take blame for this 3-year slide.
Yeah, I feel like we just added to the Chris Drew juice. Like, all right, I got here, we lost it. We've added 2 more to the list. So our battle on that one, but all will be written right on Saturday.
Absolutely. Huge game, holiday ahead of us. I hope everyone has a great holiday. We will be here tomorrow morning, probably around 9 or 10 Eastern. Later in the morning. Both of us are off, but we are doing a Thanksgiving show for anyone that wants to watch in the morning tomorrow. So be sure to tune in. I'm sure we'll have plenty of antics. Maybe we will open up the phone lines if people want to call in and tell us what they were thankful for this season on a special Thanksgiving episode of the show. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. Be sure to tune in tonight. Me and Chris Drew will be live for our Michigan game preview in the Bleacher Report app at 5 p.m. So be sure to check us out there. Q, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Almost 500 people in here. So right around that. So even though we're late, y'all do love to show up. So definitely appreciate the chat. Bringing the juice. Shout out to the members, Doreen and Charles Green. Shout out to everyone in here, especially being able to catch us live. Mike will be here tomorrow, so that will be good. Biggest drinking holiday of the year. So make sure you do so responsibly. I might step out tonight, just to see what
this is one of the worst nights of the years to be out. And I have taken part and been part of the horribleness of this night. So everyone be very, very safe.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure you do that. If you want to find me, City Boy Quitting on Twitter, Flying at Johnson on Instagram, and Minor League Films here on YouTube if you want to catch some movie talk. But Ron, get us out of here.
Oh, yeah, and if you are going out tonight and you are over the age of 26, don't be that creeper at the local bar talking to the 19-year-olds back from college or the 21-year-olds back from college. Don't be that guy. Stay out of local bars.
Make sure they ID.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to find me, you could find me here weekdays on the Buckeye Roast at 8 a.m. You could find me at 5 p.m. in the Bleacher Report app with Chris Drew. You could find me Saturday. We are doing post game for Bleacher Report for the game. We will be live in the Bleacher Report app. We are doing the pregame on the Menace to Sports app, so be sure to check us out there. And of course, Buckeye BS Sundays with me, Mike, and Cam. Q, anything before we get out of here?
No, man. Enjoy your holiday. Everybody travel safe. Get home. Enjoy your time with your family. And for me, I will enjoy the 75-degree weather today.
Yeah, I'm thankful for this hat and hoodie because it is cold as hell here. You guys know how this ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
I am.
Yeah.